What's up, friends? All right, I'm back. It's been a minute again, because, you know, life and stuff, but here we are. So, last video, the transmission broke on my blue car, right? And that's the third time I've broken it. And so, it's kind of like hard, like, okay, do I fix it again with stock gears? Because I know I'm going to break it again, or do I drop the money for some gears, you know, gear set? Did I do that? We'll find out. Maybe. Probably not. Maybe so. So anyways, there's the blue car. Oh, let me finish. I couldn't just fix it again. It hurt emotionally. The car's been sitting since then. It's been a while, and that hurts too, because I really want to drive it. But I bought the CB7. I've always wanted a CB7 coupe for a little bit, so I bought this. And then over the last 3 months, I've been working on getting this thing going. Come on, angle video, son. So it's a 92 coupe. I just finished it, mostly finished, enough for it to be a daily driver. Check my other videos for stuff on this, because I have another video on this. So I also bought this TSX that's wrecked in the front that I was gonna fix. And I'm not one to stop or give up on things, but I have so many projects. Super wrecked. Just charging the battery right now so that I can get this fella out of here and into there. This guy, I'm gonna give you a little overview of what this video is going to be as far as I know. This guy right here, it needs to come out of there. It needs to come out of hibernation. It is June, almost July, and I need to beat this Tesla that I lost to last summer. I started to make a video. I made a video of that last summer, but it was kind of difficult because I used somebody else's GoPro and mine and yada yada. It was hard to get the footage. I don't know how you other people do it. You guys are crazy. This takes like ridiculous dedication, and I got a normal job and a dog and a lawn to water. It's not my lawn really, but okay. Anyways, I'm gonna get this little freaking thing going. I'm gonna beat that Tesla. But this video is going to be of me getting it going. The next video, I'm saying it, now I have to do it, is gonna be me beating that Tesla. All right, so let me tell you about all the parts I robbed in this. I don't even know, but probably 4 months it's been sitting here, sadly. The wheels, robbed the wheels. And the tow arms. Tow arms are on this CRX. I robbed the slave cylinder temporarily because I was testing something. Where's the slave cylinder? I think the slave cylinder's here somewhere. Shoot. Okay, slave cylinder gone. And that's about it, I think. But I haven't driven it, obviously, since that day from the last video, which was a road trip, right? So it's still kind of in road trip mode. But I got these floor mats. European OEM EDM floor mats. Yeah. That's it. Got one lug nut on each borrowed wheel, borrowed from the neighbor. There's a slide show right there. I'm gonna put the tow arms on and lower it down. Alright, well, let's gonna wait till I have some tires on this thing to show you what I got, but that's not how I'm doing it. So I got these wheels. They are Bellic Industries wheels, 3-piece wheels. They have a beadlock version, but I did not get them. Beadlock version was like for all 4 total was going to be another $1,800 or something like that. Yeah. So, anyways, I called them up and said, hey, this is what I got. This is what I want. I want the wheels that are, you know, as wide as possible, that I can fit with turning lock to lock. And, you know, there's a lot of room there. I probably should have went further with my words there. The guy said, I got you, basically. But hold on, let me pause. It looks like I could fit wider, you know, half an inch wider at least, because there's gonna be some tire poke too. But anyways, that's fine. I don't care about that. But look at this. Look at this. This is what they supplied me with. Which I was just not expecting. So those are 7-inch wide back there, 15 by 7. These are 8-inch wide. I've learned about something called backspacing. So I don't know why all of the wheels on the eBay and everywhere else in the world don't care about backspacing. They only care about offset, or talk about it at least. So I'm just gonna tell you what it is, just in case you don't know. These are really light. So offset is how far away the back of the hub is, the mating surface, or hub, whatever you call that, not hub, but you know, the back of the wheel right here, which sits here, it's how far away that is from the center line. So if it's further in, it's negative in millimeters. So if it were 20 millimeters from the center line this way, it'd be -20 offset, or this way, +20 offset. So anyways, backspacing is the measurement from here. Oh, look at that. These are brand new. But anyways, it's the measurement from the same surface to, like if you put a level over the wheel right here, or sorry, something flat, and you measured from here to the top. So that's 5 inches here. In this case, I don't know what the offset is, but this is, you know, problem. And I had to think about what to do. I could hassle them and try to send them back and be more thorough and get a proper size that fits in there and does what I want. But after much thought, I think I figured out what I'm gonna do. I think, which is just put these bitches on. Okay, here's the tires I got. These are Mickey Thompson Street ETR 225 50/15. That's what I have for the front. And so I bought for the rear, only thinking about the space basically that we got back here. I bought 205 50/15 in the same tires, Street ETs. And then I thought, oh crap, that's a different height, because as you may or may not know, see that 50 indicates this, right? But it's not, if I'm recollecting right, it's not 50 millimeters, it's 50% of this. So 225 is the width, and this should be, I think, 50% of 225 in the height. So those are also 50. I don't have them yet. They're coming. But anywho, it's like a 3% shorter tire. Now the wagon rear diff and tranny, or the front and rear wheels, spin at different speeds from the factory, I am told. And I need to sit down and with a pencil and figure out the difference. I can't find the clear information on the internet yet, but you got the final drive and the transmission, which doesn't have to. Okay, I'm not ready to think about it yet, but there's a final drive transmission. You got the transfer case final drive, and then the rear end final drive. So yeah, okay. There's all that. So I think I'm just gonna put those on there. It's gonna poke shitload, and then if I freaking hate it, well, I can sell the wheels. Get back on there. I can sell the wheels, or I can put a wide front end on it. And then keep increasing the power so that everything makes sense, It's hard out here for a garage car guy. Got no shop, no hardcore friends to tell me stuff.
See, I know it's dark, but does that shit not leave that shit spotless?
It's hard to tell because it's dark. I see a streak right here. But so this guy, you don't have to speak. He's a mechanical engineer right here, and I guess he helped confirm what us idiots figured out. Which we don't know how we did though. That's the difference.
No, we know how we got there. Did it, yeah.
I did it too, and he did it again different. No, I did. Ask him. We both did it separately, different times, different ways. We didn't know how. So, but basically, the front wheels spin 1.0975, I think, times faster. The other way around of the front. Something like that.
Yeah, this guy figured it out.
We both figured it out. So the rear tires that I have, according to some internet calculators, they're 3.5% shorter, which would mean that it would spin 3.5% faster than whatever one is. Anyways, it's gonna be better.
Sick. You got like some 17s.
All right, throwing away the Belix.
Now you can flex that you got 3-piece wheels on it.
I already got 3-piece wheels under the car.
Yeah, you're right.
They're like freaking trailer wheels.
The options, yeah. Exactly.
So I got some news that some parts are ready for me. I will show you when they come, but I'm going to take this more apart than I anticipated a little bit. But so for today, my goal is to remove the intercooler and the piping, cold and hot, and the transmission, because I'm going to open up the transmission, fix the gears. Out here, got my friend doing all sorts of stuff, coilovers, sway bar and links, sway bars, knuckles, wheel bearings, yeah. Alright, fine, I'm gonna ruin it. I got a Speed Factory tucked intercooler, radiator, dual back door combo. I had so many issues over here. Tell you what, my turbo drain line was so not up and down, longitudinal, I guess. For one, I had to go around the intercooler piping. And look at these parts, the Home Depot fittings I got to get rid of that. I just needed to get the right angles, whatever. So without having to go around that, the angle is still, here look, see the turbo drain on the left and the turbo, or the port on the oil pan on the right. All that oil is from little leakings from the fittings and stuff, but it's not a very, it was a terrible angle. I'm sure it was smoking because of that. Who knows how wild I'm gonna go by the end of this. I might replace the manifold, maybe even the turbo, I don't know. But if I was going to alleviate this issue by replacing the manifold, it would only because a double whammy of the turbo can't clock into the new intercooler I'm gonna get because of where it's placed and stuff. But we'll see when the intercooler comes. I do feel like I'm gonna have to cut out this probably, cut out that, and this. And so I think that that's gonna be too far to the left. We'll see. So, anyways, issue 1, turbo drain line, terrible. Issue 2, I'm gonna say boost piping, because less is better. I'm going to be reducing the boost piping, obviously. It was going down around. I won't have to have a hole cut in this anymore. Where it came out over here, you know, there's more piping, it went up. So I'll only have one intercooler pipe from this back door to the throttle body. Dope. Issue 3, I was not able to run my radius arms on my traction bar because it was gonna run into that intercooler piping. So now I can run them. I'll have to weld some tabs to the lower control arms because they're EM1 control arms, and this is a full race traction bar, and they have little brackets that, you know, can go through that bolt. But if you do it on the EM1, you can't turn full lock, because on the EX, this hole of the lower control arm is actually in a little bit more, and so you are able to utilize it like that, yada, yada, yada. But I think it'll be better anyways for me to weld the tabs here, because this is going to be like, if this traction bar is doing something, this radius arm is doing something as far as keeping things together, it's going to be better to put all of the stress evenly between that bushing, the rear arm, and the inner bushing, instead of if I had it bolted straight to that bushing would be taking most force. So anyways, there's that. One more thing, I was not able to run my factory fog lights because the intercooler piping was in the way here, so I'll be able to run that again. The wheels I got are gonna poke, right? So first I'm just gonna put them on, see how it is or whatever. But I was thinking I'll probably have to get a wide front end. I could just get wide fenders, which will work with the factory bumper, but I feel like it'll look, and also, will I even be able to run my factory bumper with this intercooler radiator combo? It's like 8 inches thick or something like that. From that to, well, you'll just see. I'm gonna have to move my boost solenoid. So maybe most likely wider fenders, fiberglass fenders, and just maybe newer, you know, aftermarket bumper, like an Exo Speed front end or something. Although I really like the OEM-ness, but this is what I'm gonna have to do. So I took out all that stuff, like I said, and all the upper stuff on the tranny side of the job is done. I'm gonna remove that axle over there and get to dropping this transmission. Before, I mean, we'll see. I usually get things like 92% done, and then it runs, and I'm like, all right, let's go. But hopefully I can get 100% done, and before this is out, I'll also make up an exhaust. I should have done that a long time ago. While it's been turboed, it's never had an exhaust. It's always just had a little bit of one. So I'm also going to change out this bushing and that bushing and the rear arm bushing with some, I don't remember what brand I have. But look, this is my little temperature or pressure, what is it, temperature, oil temperature gauge, but it's actually super not ideal. I couldn't just put it straight in because it was gonna hit this rear bolt. Did a fitting, whatever. I don't think it actually reads properly because of the way that this cools more. The heat would just have to heat soak in order to actually give a reading, yada yada. So maybe I'll fix this too. But nonetheless, I have to remove the oil pan to remove that bolt to change those bushings in that arm, yada yada yada. That's all stuff I'm gonna do. Missing this bolt. Ugh, it didn't fall out. I lost it. Last engine assembly. Lots of things going on here. Lots of things. It's gonna be a whole new car once I'm driving it out. There, we get that train on the ground. We're gonna take that train. We're gonna clean the dirt off right here. Put that train up there. Take it apart. There, get that train open up. Okay, fine. I'll talk like an adult. This smells like the parts washer at that. Look at the last video. The parts washer at the place where I opened this up, you know, in that little tiny town. The parts washer was like, instead of having anything running or a machine or whatever, it's just a tank, a sink full of fluid that hadn't used for years probably. So it's like a dirty bath water sort of thing. Smell it. It smells bad. And then I used like 10W30 or whatever because I just needed to get on the road. Anyways, smells bad. There's my fourth gear, still broken. Of course, that's what we're here for. And then also the first gear does not shift into first gear. Gonna fix that. Fix fourth. That's what we're here for. And then later, we're gonna come back, put in this. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. Gear X 1 through 4 that I bought. That's now delayed 2 months. I was planning to put this in about nowish, but it's delayed 2 months, and I'm not gonna go the rest of the summer with no blue car. So this probably take me a month in reality to get going. So I'm gonna I could just be patient for another month, but instead I'll take the tranny off one more time, take these out, put the Gear X 1 through 4 on, and I have a 5th gear cuff right here. Translab SMBX 5th gear cuff, and I also have 4.0 final drive from Gear X that I'm getting, which will make having only 1 through 4 much more better. Let me show you something. Here is the 5th gear cuff, which I guess goes like that. Oh. Billet, Translab, I don't know, I guess that's his symbol, however, oh, Translab. There's some OEM bearings in there, well, I guess this one's not, but anyways, I'm thirsty. I'm probably just gonna leave this like this, clean up a little bit more, and call this a day, because the radiator intercooler dealio is ready for me to pick up at Speed Factory in Tacoma. I opted to pick up because it cost $70 to ship, and I was like, well, $70 to ship or $70 in gas and a free experience, except for it's also going to take 9 hours of my time, but I might just have them ship it, or I might go get it next weekend. All right. There's their new all-wheel drive car in the works. And there is the old one that just was wrecked 5-6 months ago or whatever. Look at all this. Well, I'm not trying to be too intrusive, but I'm in love. Alright, we're gonna do a little review on what we can. Here's all the AN fittings. If they're like Vibrant rebranded, but they're good, I'm sure. Let me see. Are they? They're not a PTFE style, of course. Because I'll show you the hose. But anyways, there's 4 of these. Cool. Here's the hose. It's kind of a smaller diameter than I would expect, because that's definitely smaller than stock. But alright. Then shit, there's a copper. Try normal for a second. Keep going, cop. You just mind your own business. Okay. So there's the catch can overflow. Alright. I just feel like critiquing, apparently. I don't know why. It's really nice. metal's good and thick. The welds are beautiful. I hope someday I can weld like this. But here's my thoughts. These 2 ports, I believe, are meant to be used with like push lock fittings. I think those are 1/8 NPT holes. So you'll put some push lock fittings in here and then a clear hose in between them so that you can see the fluid level. But the way that this mounts with this bracket over here bolting onto the shock tower, this is on the back. It's gonna be right between the firewall. Be kind of hard to see, but okay. Number 2 critiquing is that the cap is not vented, and it needs to be vented in this sort of Honda system. I mean, otherwise it can't expand into here. It can't overflow into here if it has pressure trying to stop it from coming into here. It'll just continue to overpressurize the system. So they could have made this cap vented. That would have been nice. But maybe they intended for, see, it's got a ceiling ring and everything else. Maybe they intended for people to do what I'm planning on doing, which I'll get a T fitting, a push lock T, so it has like 2 push locks and 1 male will go in here, and then anyways, one side will be pointing up, one will be pointing down, so I can see the level, and then also it'll vent. So there's that. But number 3, which is my biggest concern. If you don't know, there's a divider in here, and the coolant goes on this side, and the blow-by goes on this side, and there's also this like little filter screen. Here's my biggest concern. My car makes a lot of blow-by. That's what happens. All the power. So the blow-by is going to come up through the hoses and into this guy. Well, it can only fill up to here before it starts flowing back through the hoses into the engine, which is the whole purpose of this, is to separate the contaminants from the engine oil, you know. So it's just kind of, I mean, I'll think about this a little more, but I believe that's the case. So I don't know, I might just make a second like thing for this, where I'll have a drain on the bottom with a hose going to a bottle somewhere else, so that I can just empty that bottle over and over instead of remove this whole thing and dip it upside down, or you know, after each drive, probably, because I drive the shit out of my car, it's gonna make some blow by. So that's all right though. It's okay. It's still beautiful. Still happy with the purchase. So I'll pull over for the radiator intercooler. That seems like probably a better idea. I'll show you that after a little bit. We got, I don't know, 6 hours or something to get to my welder. All right, I'm like an hour from my welder. This looks like a good place to unbox this. Let's see, it's spow, however. Gas station dude just told me to take my time, like I didn't even ask. Thanks. Alright. I like this grass. Let's see. Empty box. Taking advantage of FedEx's kindness. Stickers. That's great. More stickers. and get grass in my intercooler. Okay, this thing is super solid. Looks like one thing I was just kind of curious about is if they sell like just this radiator alone, but I think what I was curious about is if it mounted the same, if it had like the same bracket. Just wondering if they only had to make one setup, but it does have like different bracketry to mount specifically to this guy. Okay, yep, that's it. This seems like narrow enough to where I might not have to chop the sides of my radiator support, but we'll see. Done. I also got this swirl pot, fill pot. I don't know if there's a difference in the two, but that's what this is. With the 16A in. There's my welder. Alright, now let's drive 6 hours home, get there at 11:30, and go to work at 7. Okay. So, here's where we're at. Kenny, I'm vlogging a little bit. I put this guy real loosely right here just to see what's going on. So, most people cut this guy when they use these, it seems like. I'm fine with cutting that, I guess. I never really intended for this to happen, but and I'm also gonna have to cut, you know, over there. I'm gonna have to do a lot of wiring changes, like my boost, my Mac valve, whatever. I gotta extend some wires and stuff. But I did like design the shit out of this when I initially did it, as far as the headlight wiring and everything else. I'll have to change it, but here's a big problem. This will have 2 SPAL fans on it, right? And SPAL, however. I don't think it could be any closer than this before it's hitting, well, first my cooling line, which I could change up, you know, like I could make that not stick out. But secondly, the wastegate, like right now with the SPAL fan, it's going to be pretty much there. So, but this is sticking way too far out to run my factory bumper, and I want a factory bumper, which might be a very expensive want. So let's go on here. This manifold is Go Waterworks, but it boost creeps so much. I feel like it didn't initially, but I'm sure it did. But it boost creeps to like 12, 14 to the moon. Which before was a big problem when I was, well, even when I was all-wheel drive, but now I have these tires, Mickey Thompson and stuff. It wouldn't be as much a problem, but I still want control. Okay, secondly, the turbo drain line that I showed you before, big problem. Still, with the piping out of the way, the intercooler piping, I could make a better angle, but what I'm trying to say is, I'm trying to talk myself into spending the money on a manifold that, for one, doesn't boost creep like this. For 2s, pulls the turbo up so that the oil drain line is proper. And for 3s, gets the wastegate and the turbo and stuff out of the way of the fan. So that way I can chop this guy and mount this back enough to where I can run my factory bumper and fog lights and factory OEM EM1 lip, because we bougie. So yeah, that's my findings right now. But before I really do anything else, I'm gonna clean this mess and probably let the sun come up, push the car out, and think about it a little bit more. So far, the only irreversible modifications that I've done to this car are drilled 2 holes through the floor. Oh, wait, I forgot I made it all-wheel drive. So, I banged the floor up. Anyways, before that, I had just drilled 2 holes in the trunk for the battery, but now it's all-wheel drive. And I was thinking it was still a virgin, it can be reverted back to stock, like that's ever really going to happen, but that's for some reason always the idea, right? Okay, so anyways, I decided, I had to change the manifold. I just bought a Speed Factory top mount manifold T3, and then I bought a 45 millimeter Turbo Smart wastegate because my old one, I think, was 38, and this 45 should be better for fighting boost creep. So we're about to make the first cut. That's what I was getting at before all those rambles. Here. There. It's 9.5 inches tall. This little guy should hug up against here somewhat. So I'm cutting this 9.5 inches out, and then I'm gonna make a bracket, weld a little tabby on top of here so that I can bolt that to be here somewhere. I can probably still utilize these guys, but anyways, and then I'll make probably 2 brackets per side over here just to be a little extra. You'll see how that goes. I'm gonna cut this guy off. This guy is nice and solid, whatever that thing is. It would have been nice to utilize this, drill a hole through it, use it for a bracket, but then I have to go a 1/2 inch higher, which would leave me, I want a little bit of space below the hood latch to make a bracket to mount this guy up, and also have some space for these guys. So let's cut this thing. See this guy? He's a bad person. I did bad things. Alright, so here's where we're at. I didn't actually get really much of anything done, but we spent some TLC together, and that's good. These upright guys, there's a little weld spot weld right here on both sides. Well, they had broken away even before I bought the car, and so this thing, was less sturdy. Been thinking about drilling out the spot weld and bolting it together forever. And I finally did it. I just didn't want to bolt there before, but now, screw it. It's a functional bolt, both sides. Yeah, I could weld it, but this is what I did for now. So, there's that. I gotta work on this a little more. But, I want to cut these out, but I have to wait. I'm gonna wait for the manifold to come in the mail. And I hope that I can have it back like that. I don't know if I'll be able to. The manifold dips down. Might run into here, but anywho, I'm gonna wait for the manifold to come so I can see how I should set this left to right so that the turbo, be clocked down and go straight into the intercooler instead of straight and a little bit angled. So I would love to mount this, but I'm gonna wait for that. So in the meantime, I'm gonna get this properly mounted with Honda Bond. It's not there right now. I'm gonna mount that guy up right there permanent-ishly. No, not permanently. Still gotta get some fittings and stuff for the back of it right there. Those are 2 easy things. Just gonna drill 1 hole, mount that guy there. But then I got, got a viscous coupler rebuild kit from Brandon Hickinson or something like that on the all-wheel drive page. So this is 60K. Let's put this in 60K fluid, whatever that actually means. But it's gonna send more power to the rear, and some seals and some bearings. So I'm gonna be dropping the viscous coupler and rebuilding that soon. I imagine I've heard it's very tedious, but that's fine. That's what I'm going to do. I just cannot wait to drive this thing. I'm ecstatic. All right, half the drive line's off. Here's the viscous coupler, this little expensive guy. So far, I've just taken this nut off, which I never unstake these. Gosh, quit rolling away. I never unstake these, and I've never had an issue, but I guess that wasn't the cause, probably, because it's screwed up way down there as well. Let me think about that. No, it could have been the cause. I think that was the cause. This tang got stuck up in the threads. It messed up that first part right there, which, you know, could be a very expensive repair if it meant, like, forever damaging this thing. But here's a front-wheel drive axle nut, and it's the same except for this is taller. So with the side height of, you know, that part is the same and everything. So if you shorten this down, if you even need to, it'd be all good and stuff. So I'm probably just gonna go get a new one of these fellas for that, and I might try to massage it and see how it feels, or I might buy a die, which I imagine is gonna be pretty spendy, but I'll probably use it in the future. Time or two on the axle. Okay, so I just took off these 4 10mm star, I don't like that, 12-point bolts. They weren't too hard. I really don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm gonna follow a YouTube video. Get this guy off. There's splines, right? I just hammered on the shaft a little while pulling that. Came right off. Same with this guy. I held it in the air like this and hammered on this, and it came right out. In this YouTube video that I watched a couple minutes of so far, the guy said he was having a hard time. I don't know why, because it came out pretty easy. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that easy. Whew. Okay. That smacked me almost in the eyeball. So, looks like there's a seal. Is this a seal? Yeah, I think that's I mean, it looks like a seal, but it looks like it's one piece. Anyways, I think that's a seal. The bearing in there, which actually seems pretty darn good. There's a seal right there. But check this out. Oh, this thing's so heavy. There's some gunk, that's for sure. Stuff probably leaking from inside. There's no other place for it to come from. But let's see what this kit contains. It contains one bearing. It looks like there are 2 bearings involved here. There's a, God, this thing is like 15 pounds or something. There's a bearing right there, which looks like that one, but there's also a bearing right there. Kit only comes with one. But okay, and then here's 1, 2, 3 similar seals. Oh, let's open it up. One-handed for the tubes. Okay, 3 seals plus an O-ring. I'll figure out what they're all for. Like one there, maybe. I don't know. That looks like just one piece, but no, there's a dividing line. Let me keep watching this video. I guess I'm gonna have to take these star bolts off in this clip right there and keep going. I need not only this Torx, which I should have, but I don't. So I'm gonna acquire it. Those Torx. You know, I also need the right snap ring tool for that guy, which that guy is in there like swimwear. So this thing is freaking so heavy. I'm gonna keep it's gonna be like one of those weighted blankets for my shorts. Found a unicorn on the way to the parts store. I mean, when's the last time you seen one of those? these, and both had shit-ass tools, or this thing's the Hulk. But before I bought the tools, I asked them, hey, if this doesn't work, and they said yes, and then I tried it right there on the counter and broke the tool at both stores trying to remove that. I said, okay. So I'm gonna try one more store right there, which I don't imagine is gonna have the tool that gets it done. Yes. I just need to break everybody's tools first and then think a little bit harder. WD-40 and then heat, and then I budged it this way, budged it that way with flathead. And then these little dinky guys got it out. Ugh. Okay. I took this bolt out and it started like freaking, it shot the bolt out very melodramatically. And then it started hissing and puffing. Is that bad? Very interesting. Let me smell it. Oh, shit. Just kidding. Okay. Doesn't smell terrible, but anyways, very weird. Let me keep going. This dirty ass piece of hardware there on this concrete. This is so weird. Oh man, it feels strange. I'm gonna get organized here in a moment. Oh, I took that bolt out. Now it's starting. Come out of there. This is so weird. It just keeps coming from there. Hi. Okay. Let me see. Which way is this? I think it comes out this way. Holy shit. The internet guy just popped this shaft right out of this case. He's bopping on this guy just a little bit, but I was pretty kind of worried. Still am a little, but I had to seriously bop it. Stop going there. Stop it. I don't know what to think of this, but I see a big gap right here. That makes me wonder, you know. Oh, the shaft. This part comes off. There's one of the O-rings that we saw. Looks like there's a plate still on there, maybe. What I need to do is stop and get organized. I think that thingy is supposed to come out. I think there's a seal under there. Holy shit. This is like 4 SpongeBob days later. So, I have been peeling one disc from another right here. Cleaning and putting in this pile. Those are mint, those are not, but yeah, this is 30-year-old, however old fluid. I'm pretty excited. I'm very excited to make this mint again. Shit. So there's a seal on the other side, in between that metal backing and here. You can kind of see the seal. I'm not sure how that sucker is supposed to get changed out yet. I mean, I can only imagine that has to come out, but it's not really wanting to. But anyways, this is very tedious. I understand what you internet people are talking about. And for you non-internet people, I'm an internet person, and now later when you do this, you can understand what I, internet person, was talking about. Right? in just a moment, I'm gonna have to tell you whose video I watched because it's very helpful. And once again, I'll just tell you this is taking a long time, but get down there. All right, well, I was having a difficult time getting this back together. There's a groove that's a couple just below where you can't see right here, where you can see that this ring is supposed to snap in. I did get it in there yesterday, but the problem I was having was the cap has to go over. It wouldn't go down enough for the other snap ring to do its job. So I pulled it apart and see this sort of gap, kinda. There's like a little, wasn't that big, but the little guy, and I figured maybe one of these rings had gotten not centered. I'm not gonna fully explain that, but this plate's warped. Seems like maybe another couple, one or two warped plates. I don't know. I think I need some more plates, so I'm gonna try to source some darn plates, the unobtainium probably, and then some more liquid, and we're gonna do this again. So just you know, 4-hour project turn into a 2-week endeavor, but that's okay. All right, that's the end of part 1 because you guys are like, man, it's a 2-hour-long video. You know what? You love it. Shut up. No, but for reals, I make these long as hell because I don't really care about the views and stuff. What I care about is the person who is looking for any information or just maybe enjoys watching the journey and stuff. All this stuff that I'm doing, you know, like if I had watched my own video before, I could have done it a lot easier with more predictability and or less money and stuff. So anyways, screw the views, hour-long vlogs. Yeah, I already recorded a bunch of the second part, so here's the first. Watch the second.